Okay, I think it's recording. Alright, so for our DDI meeting today, does everyone have an agenda? Yes. Alright, the first, you guys have an agenda? Alright, the first part of our meeting, and the sign-in sheet is going around somewhere. Again, the first part of our meeting is going to be to discuss my action research findings. First, I want to looking at the agenda, following the agenda. We want to review our norms. We know that our norms are to start on time, end on time, be respectful, active participation. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to or take away from the norms? All right. So usually we identify our roles. Today, the facilitator. Did he have it for you? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I'll be facilitating the first half of the meeting today. We're talking about my action research, and we don't really need a note taker today because you guys will be taking notes individually as you look at your individual data. Okay, so we don't really need a note taker. I do need a timekeeper. I need a timekeeper just to make sure that I stay on time. So somebody will let me know. Good. Thank you. All right, you can sit. You can sit over
okay,
there.
make sure you're recording again.
No, I am recording, but it's okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, everybody. That's okay. All right, so the first thing I want to do is, before we start to look into the action research findings, we already, and again, thank you guys so much for letting me present my action research. It's just the work that we've been doing the whole way, and I think that's why it's so rewarding. When I saw the results and I talked to Mr. Pratt about it, we were so happy because, and I brag on you guys all the time. I tell them, like, even Miss Ross came today and she said, I need to come back so that I can sit in on one of your DDI meetings. She said, so I can offer suggestions. I said, well, you probably don't want to sit in on ours because we do a pretty good job. I said, you want to go to somebody else if you want to offer some suggestions. So I do appreciate that. I know it kind of sound mean, but I do appreciate you guys and the hard work that you do. I know that sometimes it's cumbersome and sometimes, you just don't feel like being here, but thank you for pushing through and let's get this done. All right, so what I want to do is I want to start with, I always like to start with a warm-up activity or icebreaker. All right, so this activity that we're going to participate in is called Compass Points. Have you guys participated in this activity before? No. All right, it's kind of like a personality quiz, and then I'm going to tie it into, the importance of the action research. All right, so if you've noticed on 4 corners of the room, I have labels: north, east, south, and west. And I'm going to give you a description, and depending on where you fall, I want you to get up and move. So I'm going to give you the description. If you feel like you are a north person, I want you to move north. I am a south person. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. And once you find out what that south is, I want you to see if that fits me. Ms. Cooking, I want you to hold me to that. Okay? All right, so if you are a north person, you like to just act. Let's just do it. You like to try things. You like to just jump in. You want to know the purpose and get it done. If you are a north person, please move to the north.
Do we hear all of them first?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. You may be a combination of more than one. But if that's just you, if you know that you like to just jump in, you can go. Jump in. All right. You are a east person if you like to look at the big picture and the possibilities before acting. You want to know the big picture. So before you take any action, you want to look at the overall big picture. If that is you, I want you to move east. Okay? South. You're very caring. You like to know that everyone's feelings have been taken into consideration and that their voices have been heard before acting. Okay? You are the heart of the group.
I'm here to south.
Okay? All right, West. You pay attention to detail. You like to know the who, what, when, where, and why before acting.
That's what I was feeling like I was all of them. I was like, actually, these are all very important.
You can't fit in a combination between some of them.
I need all of those.
You like the Southwest?
Yeah.
You like the Southwest? Southwest?
Because I'm
Are you
not a follower.
Southwest? Are you a West?
I'm more like a West East type of way.
Oh, West. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so definitely something like that.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Yeah, you can be a
Yeah,
combination
because I need to
of
know
more
if
than
it's a
one.
detail
You may
or
not
something
stick
like
with
that.
me just
Yeah.
one. All I want you to do? I want you to talk to someone around you, and I want you to talk about what you guys have in common, like what are some of your commonalities, and why'd you choose your location where you stand?
Yeah, I just I see something I like, I feel like, make my kids excited, you know what I'm saying? So I just be the close.
Yeah, and I think one of like my biggest things are like seeing things from multiple perspectives, you know, it's easy to orientate.
Well, see, that's why I say I'm more
Like,
kind of north side.
care whatever
Cause I kind of
it is,
care
but
too, I kind of like to hear
not
people.
like sometimes
think it's cool.
you're upset, but it's actually
Yeah,
to your
I
benefit that we do
just-
that, you know what I mean?
Sometimes
Yes.
as soon as I get
So I
that
wanna make
information,
like,
as soon as I
you
get
know,
it,
actually.
I just try it out, I don't ask about the
On
kids.
purpose,
I
with
don't get the
information,
picture, that's
like,
what it is.
but
Boom, and
sometimes
then once
I'm
we started,
like,
I
you don't
see
have
the
time
kids
for that
now.
one, we can do it,
And then I
like,
see
you
that.
can, like, I can jump in, like, I can be
So
here.
now I get that's why I say I'm more of a north south because I really care for one. I really want to make sure it's something that I'm interested in and it helps me.
It has to be neat and organized and logistical, so I know.
Yeah.
Well, and I just
And I agree. The first
Yeah.
time, like, work smarter, not harder. Yes, exactly.
As you said, to be okay and to be
And
comfortable.
when I was younger, all the way, all the time, and then I figured it out, I was like, you know, I'm gonna
Resources
come
or
here a little
something like
bit,
that,
if I
like
need to
you-
go there, I can, but like,
Like,
doing a lot more work this way.
You know, anytime we talk about it,
Answer questions.
they know just even if we don't listen to that, we don't make it happen.
Yeah.
It's not that
Yeah,
deep.
I'm like,
I'm wrong.
I ain't trying to beat up on them. You just had something to listen to. That's all I'm telling you.
So we go ahead, and I'll jump in, but I'm gonna have my inner tube, make sure there's a lifeguard there, I'm gonna get my swim lessons first, yeah. Exactly.
I feel like I'm coming, like, mess up something. This is what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm not.
I can't tell you that. Sometimes you just
I
want
might be looking at you.
I mean,
hope nobody didn't see it. You see what I'm saying? Because you just had to say, oh, this year.
I really wanna look at all
Okay,
this.
some kids and stuff. So I feel.
Oh, but that's what you got from research, right?
And
She's gonna
she's
get
right.
it.
Teach at heart too. You can tell all y'all.
I mean,
Y'all kind of understand what we
I
come, what we dealing with.
ordered just a bit. I've been
That-
here a long time.
I forgot what East was, but I know definitely.
yeah.
I'm
Well, the
kinda-
East like to just look at the big picture and the possibilities before acting on it.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so I'm going to give you an explanation of your points. So if you will, you can come back to your seat for the second time. Alright, so if you are a North person, that was Mr. Hollis, and he said he was a combination. Remember, you could be a combination. A North person, you like to take charge. You run a daily operation. You have a list of things to do and you need to get started and get them done. You get assignments in early. You don't have to ask questions to begin your work. You drive the work and get it done. You teach our children a complete curriculum. You stitch the mosaic together and you do the work. Okay? All right, East, we didn't have anybody that was the East, did we?
not
East.
puries, not puries.
You combination. All right,
Talk about
East,
how
you
that-
have the big picture, the frame that needs to be filled in. You need to see the final product. It will work with the end in mind. You believe in working backwards, understanding by design. You don't get a project started until you are clear about the final product. You teach our children the big concepts. You know the mosaic, what the mosaic looks like in the end. Okay, West, you ask hard questions. You challenge us to identify the details. You don't start a project until you are clear about the details. You make our picture more complete. You lead and engage in thoughtful discourse. You make us think and teach detailed concepts to our children. You fill in the details of the mosaic. Alright, and sound. You take in the information, you slow us down. You make sure everyone has a voice and it is heard. You include everyone and make sure the human side is nurtured. You take care of us and bring up our effective domain. You make sure the emotional side of our work is heard. You make sure we're all included. You teach our children with strong relationships and care. You add beauty to the mosaic. You make sure everyone participates in the creation and you keep us all comfortable.
That's it.
It sounds like a
Yeah,
wonderful
come on now, come on, have some compassion, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I said I'm north, both.
But you can be a combination of more than one. Nobody is not just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I like South. I think I'm a South, but I probably would position myself more like a Southwest. I would. Now think about the activity that we just did, because we have to tie it back into the work that we do. How does that activity help us when we're working together as a team? How can that activity help us?
Understand like strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, strengths and weaknesses. Anything else?
Help you to see things from another person's point of view.
And as far as the teachers, so different, what method might help best. when you need to teach the class.
With your students, so you know how to approach your children, you know where they're coming from, right? And even with as a teen, you know we always have that one whose feelings get hurt all the time and they want to cry. That's me. So you know when you come to me, you know you need to be just soften your discourse. But then you have those north people who are like that type A, like they really don't care, they're blunt, like boom, boom, boom. But you need all of that in your life to keep you on track. Alright, so that's just an example of an activity that you can use just to get to know your kids and get to know your teammates. Okay? Alright, so let's move on to our action research.
15 minutes?
Alright, so my question was, does personalizing data PLCs positively affect TEKS? Your TEKS rating. So I'm going to conduct this study to see if what we are doing in here is going to affect your TEKS rating. And we know that's our ultimate goal. We want to get good TEKS rating so our students can have good achievement. Alright, the rationale. This is the reason why I wanted to conduct this survey. Project. Last year, 59% of the students at Bethune Elementary in grades 3 through 5 were scoring proficient on Georgia milestones in the area of math. All of the PD trainings that teachers receive focus more on the structure of guided math versus the data to drive the math instruction. And for those of you who were here, you probably remember, even with with my math PDs, we kind of talked about guided math, what it looks like, boom, boom, boom. Now we put more of a focus on looking at the data, making sure that data is personalized to you so that you have a vested interest. I wanted to focus on personalized professional development since our county and students are moving toward a personalized model. I just thought it made more sense. We're moving toward that personalized model, and if our kids are going to be receiving personalized instruction, then our teachers need to be receiving personalized instruction. The purpose of this study was to determine whether personalizing the math professional development that teachers receive here at Bethune would increase their TEKS scores and therefore positively affect student achievement. I organized the study by first conducting pre-observations on teachers, analyzing observation data, conducting research, developing professional development, conducting post-observations, analyzing and collecting the data, and presenting the findings of the study to the team. Okay. Alright, so these are some of the research questions that kind of guided my work. By allowing the teachers the opportunity to only focus on their specific classroom needs, will individual teachers' TEKS ratings increase? What do you guys think? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so.
I would think,
I
yeah,
think
good direct link.
I'm already doing one thing well, I don't need to talk about it over and over again.
All right, by engaging, the second question was by engaging all teachers in planning for change, valuing peer-to-peer and individualized action planning, will TEKS ratings increase, resulting in student achievement? We know that if our TEKS ratings are increasing, that means that there's going to be a positive impact on our student achievement, because it means that we're teaching and we're doing what we're supposed to. So these were the research questions that were guiding my research. This is just a review of the literature that I used. In order to research the study before conducting it, I found similar findings in these articles below. Personalized professional development for teachers, personalizing PD by teachers for teachers, personalizing professional development at the center of learning. So a lot of the activities and the things that we've done and I've implemented, I got these from these research articles. Alright, so methods, procedures, and analysis. There were several different data collection methods used. Quantitative data, so I collect the data through TEKS. Of course, I don't put TEKS in, I just have walkthroughs, informal walkthroughs, but I work with the admin team to collect the data. And qualitative data, collected through observations, surveys, and collecting action plan forms. And you guys, you remember completing the action plan forms. So see, this is the work that we were doing. Alright, so the results or findings, overall findings. So the green, if you look at the green, where me, is pointed to, at the beginning during pre-observation, and I looked at to see when I talk about increasing teachers' TEKS scores, teachers who are scoring at level 3 and level 4, proficient and exemplary. Alright, so pre-observation, before we even started the study, 49% of the teachers who participated in the survey were scoring level 3 and level 4 based on those walkthrough observations for TEKS. Okay. After the post-observation, so after we had gone through, the, different practices and having our DDI meeting, going back and analyzing the data, 88% of the teachers were scoring at proficient, or, I'm sorry, scoring at level 3 or level 4 on TEKS. Alright, and these are some of the findings. Okay, so, what we did was we looked at specific standards. So looking at those standards, TEKS Standard 2, Standard 3, Standard 4, Standard 5, and Standard 6. You can see, remember the green, if you look at the green here on the bar graph, this was pre-observation data. And if you look at the brown, that is post-observation data. So you can see the difference between in the TEKS score. Alright, so these were, continuing with the findings, in the short-term action research project, I misspelled that, conducted at Miriam M. Bethune Elementary, several methods of data collection were used. We used quantities as well as qualitative data collection. The findings of the short-term action research project are that based on the data, the project was effective. Okay, and I determined that by looking at that data. You got a chance to see that pre-observation data and the post-observation data. The data suggests before the action research was being conducted, 49% of the teachers who participated in the study were scoring at level 3 and level 4 on TEKS. After the implementation of the study, which included observations, weekly data meetings, monthly professional development sessions, 88% of the teachers received level 3 and level 4 ratings on TEKS, as well as student achievement increased. Data to determine whether or not student achievement was obtained was collected through pre- and post-observation results, which were disseminated through our online portal, Fulton Connect. Teachers reviewed their data at our weekly DDI meetings. Our follow-up actions. So what I have to do is I had to come up with a study. I had to research the study. I had to implement the findings of the research. And as you can see from the data, our meetings that we're having, personalizing you guys' professional development when you come here has been impactful. I started out with just 4 and 5. So just looking at teachers in 4th and 5th grade in math. Okay? All right, the admin team met in our weekly PLC and we discussed the implications of the data collected. Based on the quantitative and qualitative data collected, the ARC or action research was successful. We are going to continue this study and move into the long-term action research. We are going to include 3rd grade. Our goal is to use this structure to increase TEKS scores and student achievement in grades 3 through 5 since they are tested grades. So the short term was just to look at 4th and 5th grade math. The long term is going to be looking at including 3rd grade in this also. So those are our long term, those will be my long term goals. I'm going to use those same questions to guide my research, but I'm just going to include 3rd grade.
And still just math,
Mm-hmm.
3rd grade.
Still just focusing on math, yes. I'm only going to focus on math. Okay? All right, does anybody have any questions or any comments about the data? Okay. All right, well, thank you. That was my action research. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. That was my action research. So like I said, I thought it was beneficial. Even when I thought about, just the importance of thinking from, just putting my teacher hat on, what's important. I don't want to sit in a professional development that does not benefit me, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that you guys would feel the same way. I want to, at the end of the day, it's about student achievement. How can I move my students from point A to point B? So personalizing this information and looking at the data is the best way to do that. And we're going to continue, so we're going to do some work today. And what our work is, we did this as a leadership team last week. So Mr. Hollis is going to help me. Ms. Cookeen is going to help me also. What we're going to do is, we're going to look at our kids' data. Now this is data that we've collected throughout the year, okay? So in ELA and math, we have Write Score, Read Score, ITBS. We had those GoFar assessment. Any assessment that we've taken so far, we have the student scores here.
This year.
This year,
Okay.
yes.
This school.
Okay. All right. So I am going to give you your information, Mr. Hollis. This is yours. Ms. Johnson, Ms. King, will you do me a favor when you look at Mr. Folder? Oh, that's just the extra. Okay, and then this one, oh, Gordon. All right, and Mr. Moore, you have yours. Will you come sit over here with us? This is just a chick, you can look at, this is a chick. All right, so,
This is the same, one for me, one for Joy.
one for you and one for
Okay.
Johnny, yeah. So, our task for today is we are going to complete our milestone prediction sheet. We are gonna complete our milestone prediction sheet. Alright, so when you look at your milestone prediction sheet, alright, you're gonna use the available assessment data. You're gonna predict the milestones performance of the students in the given class for all tested areas. Then you're gonna answer the questions below. And meeting with the admin team, Mr. Pratt really wants us to focus on those questions at the bottom. So yeah, we're gonna look at the data, but he wants us to spend most of our time looking at those questions on the bottom. Again, this data is specific to you and your students. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at, I have Ms. Young's class, for example, and I am looking at ELA. So I'm gonna look at, based on ELA, I'm gonna look at this first student right here, student A. Okay, if this student has consistently scored and fallen in the red, then I'm going to predict that probably on milestones, this student is gonna score a level 1. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, what was easy for us was we kind of just made a notation at the bottom. We went through and checked all the level 1s first, and then added them to the prediction sheet. Level 2, level 3, and level 4. There are some students on here where you don't have enough data. So if you don't have enough data, then you're gonna add that over here in this column. Okay. All right. So for 4th and 5th grade here, 5th grade, of course, you'll be looking at science and social studies, but you have ELA and math. And then again, we're gonna focus our attention at the bottom, answering those questions. Make sure you put your name at the top, because I'm going to collect these. I'm gonna give you a copy, and then I'm going to take a copy back with me.
So are we supposed to put their name here?
No, just the number. So you'll put the number of students out of your class who you think who are gonna score level 1.
Who I think, am I just,
Yeah, so again,
like if they scored a 1 last year, I
no,
think they're going
so
to
you're
this
gonna look
year?
at, so you're gonna look at their data. So let's look down at this kid right here. Consistently, when I look across, if I'm looking at ELA, so here, this is ELA. You have to be careful because the math is included in there, but I'm gonna look at ELA. And everywhere on here where they score ELA, SRI, Lexile is red across. So this kid, I'm predicting is probably gonna score level 1.
Should I make ELA predictions though, or no? Because I just teach math.
No, you can't.
So you got how many red?
You know what?
1, 2.
You can if you want. I forgot this is just math.
Yeah.
Right. So just do it.
On the 2
Yeah,
reds,
okay, sorry.
3
'Cause I don't wanna-
reds, you got
Yeah.
1, 2.
She's doing it
3
anyway.
yellows. So what we would do
They're
is
doing
for
the
him,
same
Okay.
this
So it's
student,
okay.
And
we would
then,
say maybe level 2, just because
Since
you
we're
got
fourth
2
grade,
yellows.
don't worry about
You need at least 2
science.
yellows, so you got in the middle.
okay.
But we'll give you on, we'll
So
give
my
you on the high
math
side.
is-
So
Okay.
Fifth grade will look at math and science.
So you want them on the high.
we was on the high side. They were even,
Here, what
like you see majority red, you
You
gotta
gotta
have
do it at the
1.
top for the
Or you see
level.
majority yellow
And
and 2,
then
majority
at the
blue.
bottom for those
On
kids,
the green.
everything has shown.
And then
wrong.
we
So
would
you
give, we
actually
had,
do
say this,
both
you had
those.
2 reds and 3 yellows or 4
This is
yellows.
so far
We're gonna
in
do level 2,
correct?
because you got most of the yellows anyway.
This
That's how
so
we
far
was
is-
doing it.
So
That's
far,
what we
and
had
then
We
ITBS,
had to come up with a system.
Well, we don't have ITBS.
Same.
Yeah. Did you hear what I told
Star
you?
math,
How we
you're
did it?
gonna use star math,
What we
you're
do
gonna use
is,
go
I take
far.
like a blank sheet of paper, use Dobson.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, you use it, yeah, that's how we did, we just kind of started with the ELA.
And then you wanna use their math skills
That's 1,
for
2,
here.
ELA, you got red there,
Yeah.
got 2 yellows on SRI, 2 yellows on this. So you got 1, 2, 3 reds and 4 yellows. So this is right, could go level 2. See, I'm on the borderline, so that's how we were kind of looking at it. I'm not sure if that